Hey everyone, it's Apache here and welcome back to Broken Sword, Shadows of the Templars. Last episode, George Stobbart went over to Ireland to listen to some American people with some very, very dodgy Irish accents. And now we are back with Nico in Paris. After we found the Pilgrim Gem. George Stobbart found the Pilgrim Gem and opened a doorway into an old Templars crypt or something like that. We haven't actually really seen what it is. The cutscene is a very, very short cutscene. I've just been back through it and just to make sure there was nothing else. But no, the cutscene was really, really short. So let's see what we can do now. What have we got here that is actually worth looking at? So we've got a fair few things.
The photograph showed Carchon smiling happily to camera, with a background of burning huts and death. My father, grinning at the camera. I couldn't believe it. So
can we put these two together?
No.
No, we can't?
No.
Wow, okay. There's still a bug in here somewhere in this room we haven't found.
My first undisturbed.
Looks like there may be a message.
I had messages waiting to be played.
You have 3 messages.
3 messages.
Hey, Collard, it's me, your favorite editor. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a second chance. I need somebody to write the TV column. Pays lousy, so what's new? If you're interested, drop by the office. In fact, drop by the office anyway. We have to talk, Nico. That story of yours I spiked. It won't go away. You've made some dangerous enemies out there.
Hey, Nico, it's your old pal. I mean, your new pal, George. Whoa, Ireland. It's a whole different country. And I got some amazing news for you. Gem of a story, in fact. Oh, gotta go. Yeah, fella here's got a drink lined up for me. Yep, only here for a day and I'm speaking the lingo like a local.
Mademoiselle Coulard, this is Imelda Carchon. I wanted to thank you for being so understanding when... Come to lunch, why don't you? Tomorrow. I might have more news. There's a Monsieur Merlon coming to see me this evening. He says he knows why Pierre was murdered. In fact, he'll be here shortly. I shall let you know what he says. Goodbye, dear girl. Till tomorrow.
Merlin? Oh my God. Merlin's the killer. I better get over there and warn her now. When it came to being two-faced, Imelda was up there with the best. I owed her nothing, but I couldn't just let her die.
Yeah, we're going to have to head over there. Merlin is Khan and...
I arrived to find the Palais Royal courtyard deserted. I only hoped that I'd beaten the assassin here. I had to warn Imelda before it was too late.
Okay, so we're going to have to... Because I'm assuming that we can't get into here. Let's just test it first of all. So we're going to have to go into this window by pushing the statue over.
Locked?
Right, so let's see if we can just do it by hand. Aha, yes we can.
I unhooked the first wire.
And then we can do the second.
I released the second wire. Even with both wires removed, the statue remained upright.
And now we can push it over.
If I could deconstruct this, I could deconstruct anything.
And now we can head in.
The plastic sheet was thick and strong. I'd need more than my hands to tear it.
There's no other windows we can go in, so it has to be through this one. Can we use...
No.
that one? Which one is it? Aha, it's for shell. There we go. There's nothing in here we can do apart from head out. I'm imagining it's in there, but let's have a look over here first. Yep, it's through into the study.
My God, I'm too late. Imelda. Oh no.
Nico?
Don't worry, you're going to be all right.
You know that isn't true.
It was Merlin, wasn't it?
Dressed as a cavalier. How absurd. You came to warn me, didn't you?
I must be crazy.
Let me see you, Nico.
All this time you were just using me. Which one is the real Imelda?
You are an extraordinary girl. Thierry would have been so proud of you.
You didn't
Yeah,
know
she knows
my
our father.
So like him. Something about the eyes. I wish we'd had time to get to know each other.
She was gone. She cheated me, lied to me, used me. But why? Even in death, Imelda looked the same. Beautiful, inscrutable. The Ice Queen alone in her ice palace. I opened it. Inside was a tiny gold key. I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
So what does that key fit? Oh, I know what that key fits. In
In
here,
the dim light, I caught the reflection of something metallic. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. It was
this is
a
where
bug.
the bug was.
Oh, chère cousine. You left me a little present. You shouldn't have.
Probably should have done this a while ago.
You don't scare me. Espèce de...
She's just put it in a bin. I don't think that's going to work. Can we just stop here? She's just taken a bug out of one box and put it into another. Why? Why, Nico? You should be cleverer than that.
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The
Oh,
elephant
yes, it
on the
does.
lid was a perfect match to Carchon's.
Definitely has a key now.
I took out the key. I couldn't believe it. Imelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside. It was a photograph of Imelda. But why here? In my father's box?
So that
I felt as if a black
no one
hole
of
had
them-
swallowed me up. Imelda and Carchon grinning. While behind them a village was being razed to the ground. Its people butchered. And there, next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father.
So that no one of them
There was a
could
letter.
be
I feared there was
incriminated
even worse to
without
come.
the others. Pact.
Hotel St. George, Algiers, Friday. My darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you're really working for. Or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage. I know too much of what has been going on here. They would find me and they would kill us both. Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry. Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No, they'll just give you a funny job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Imelda.
Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all.
Maybe. Not all undercover agents are good guys.
He and Imelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
She's quite naive when it comes to these kind of things. So where next? The next morning. She's just been sat there all night.
I knew it was George. For a moment I was tempted to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later. But then... Come in.
Hello, George. So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead. Then Leary woke me in the middle of the night to help bail out the cellar.
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet running.
And you say Pegram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pegram's gem?
The Templars' gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
I do remember the Montfaucon bit. It's a really good part, actually. So I'm not going to have a look at that. In fact,
Let's take another look at
just
the
have a look at
manuscript.
the manuscript for a minute. And it is this one.
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a
no.
mirror, but the reflection has...
That's the Prehideous Faces one.
There's a guy working on a loom. A knight with a crystal ball. The night scroll bears through my teeth.
Look there, two guys.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like there's anything on
There's
here.
a woman, but the
What are your plans?
I want to find... All I've got to go... I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobineau at the Kron Museum. And why don't you see if Rousseau has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
Okay, so we can head on out. So where should we go first?
I so much wanted to talk to George about everything that had happened, but I knew I never could. My father's connection to Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
I still think there's far more to that story than she thinks there is. She's very, very quickly painted him as the hero when those things are never that easy. So we can head to Rougerie, that's back to Nico's apartment. Head to the police station, head to the Musikroon and Café Chandelier. Or we can head away And we can't go to Ireland. So yeah, just to Paris. Let's go to a museum first. And there's nobody here.
Pardon me. Oui, monsieur?
So let's just talk to him, see if he's got anything new.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod?
Oh, we know about
Do you know
that.
anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education. He was an optic. He taught me the alphabet, the bottom row of the chart.
Why
I
don't
don't
you
think
start
he's
over
going
and
to
then...
have anything to say. He's
Do
more
you
flavour
see?
text than
At
anything.
your
this guy.
age? Dream on.
So
Thanks.
I don't think we need to get into here just yet either. So we'll head on out. It may be time to do that. But we'll head to the police station, see if Rosso knows anything.
Sergeant Moo,
Yes,
have you heard of a man called Marquet?
yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic. In the Avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
See you later,
Okay.
Sergeant.
We didn't have the option to speak to Rosso. But now we do have somewhere else. We can go to the hospital.
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
Okay, let's head in.
Hi, my name's George Stobbart.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
I'm looking for a guy named Jacques Marquet.
In which department does he work?
He doesn't. He's a patient.
I see. You do realize there are strict policies regarding visiting hours, don't you?
This is important. I have to talk to Marquet urgently.
We make no exceptions to the rules.
It's a matter of life and death.
The well-oiled running of this hospital is a matter of life and death. That's why we have rules.
I think I ought to warn you that Marquet is not what he seems.
Explain yourself.
He's in league with a bunch of guys who want to take over the world.
Nonsense. Besides, Marquet's employers have paid in advance for one of our most exclusive private rooms.
So now we know pretty much where he is.
Could you tell me who Marquet's employers are?
Certainly not.
We could go in trying as an electrician.
Does the name Thomas Merlin mean anything to you?
No, it does not.
I wanted to use that to try and get in, pretending to be an electrician. Not just ask him about whether he knows who the person on the card is. I wanted to pretend to be the person on the card. Oh.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, sir, I do not.
Might as well do that.
Thanks for your help.
I don't think he's going to offer me anything. So we can head down these corridors. Should we speak to the receptionist first? No, let's head down. Several minutes later. Right, okay. It's just a maze. Can we head down this way? Oh, I don't want to go down there. Several minutes later. Right, so yes, we have to speak to the receptionist.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plans. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm his, long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age. After a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not. So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the Bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from a zoo.
Yeah, pretty much. They remind me, well, the weasel guy anyway, reminds me of the crows in the Disney Dumbo film.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So, we can't talk to her about stuff. There must be... because the only other thing here is the ambulance.
The door.
So can we try and jack it open? Can we try and shimmy it open? Let's just go through the stuff in our inventory on this. It's not likely to be any of these, but... Nope.
There was no sign of...
Let's head back in. Let's talk to her again. And see if we can give her any of our inventory items.
Yes, sir?
So let's go through, let's see if we can actually use this as an electrician's pass now.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's... Nurse Grendel's ward.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whipped the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock alarm call, 6:10 bowel movements, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
So it's the kind of typical, really harsh ward matron.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
Okay, so now we have our directions.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
See, that's what I wanted to do with the doctor.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow.
Hey now, you can't go in there.
How come?
I'm responsible for the contents of that cupboard.
We have a Brummy.
Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do
No,
is
please
smile
don't.
and whistle
Please
this
don't.
little tune.
No.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
Thank you, George. Thank you.
It's a deal.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the corridors?
No, sir, I haven't, but I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With a friend like him, I've no fear of oppressors.
It must be a great comfort.
He is.
Right. Okay. Crazy Brummy guy.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
How come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you? I don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind me back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull-through.
Sounds dodgy.
See you later.
Yeah, take care now.
Okay, so I'm seeing this cable winding around the back here, and there's a little plug bit here. So I'm thinking you take the plug out, and he's either going to walk this way around, plug it back in and walk back, or walk that way round, plug it back in and walk all the way back. Either way, I should have enough time to be able to get into this cupboard. Because through here, I'm thinking, here's the ward.
Oui, monsieur.
Is this Ward J2?
It is, but you're not supposed to be here. We have strict rules about visiting hours.
Can't you make an exception? I've come all the way from California.
You must speak to the doctor.
I can't wait that long. What if he snuffs it?
You can't talk like that here. This is a hospital. You will have to leave.
She sounds far too smooth to be a really harsh ward matron. So let's take this out of here.
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed spluttered, and died.
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
Yes, he's going around there. And as soon as this comes back so I can control it. Really? Right, thank you. Aha. And we can just take it out again if we want, just to shut him up. However, now if we head in...
Good afternoon, Doctor. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
You'll need this, Doctor.
She gave me a
it's
long,
that simple.
narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks.
Could you take a look at the client in bed number 3 now? His name is Eric Sopmarsh.
Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeier. All I know is that Marquet's room is strictly out of bounds.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good.
So what is this? Oh yes, it's the blood pressure.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Okay, so we're starting with this guy.
Hello, anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobbart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
You better believe it.
Yeah, you better believe it.
What's your impression of Nurse
Just
Grendel?
don't blow my cover.
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he? That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job. Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Oh, we've done that
I'll
anyway.
come back later.
Okay, so we can talk to Grendel again.
Pardon me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur.
What is this device?
It's for taking the patient's blood pressure, doctor.
Is this plaster any use to you?
No, it isn't.
Just asking us some really random questions. You imagine a doctor walks into the ward and asks for the head nurse first.
Does this mean anything to you?
The Club Alamut? I've never heard of it.
We still haven't got a Club Element on the map.
Do you know Merlin of Gruber Electronics?
No, I don't.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I don't.
Does this tool mean anything to you?
I don't recognize it.
Do you recognize this tissue?
No, I don't. It looks like a chronic health risk to me.
Well, I've been carrying it around for days and I'm okay. Does this gem mean anything to you?
It's beautiful, but I've never seen it before.
Would you like to shake hands with me?
Well...
No, it's okay. Forget it.
Oh.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Okay, so can we talk to... We can't talk to any of them apart from him. So let's show him the photograph.
Hi.
Ah, we
me
can head
again.
across. Right. Didn't realise we could have to head across to here.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, Doctor. Who is it?
A cold-blooded killer. Do you recognize this red nose?
Doesn't that belong to Boissy?
No. I found it in a sewer.
He's a clown, you know. You wouldn't think so to look at him now, would you?
I think he might be that one.
Have you any idea what this is?
No, Doctor. I wouldn't even like to guess.
Do you know what this is?
It looks like plaster.
Do you know what this tool is used for?
I'd rather not, Doctor.
It's a very ominous change of music when I ask that.
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
I'm not really a nightclub man, Doctor.
Have you heard of a guy called Merlin?
No, Doctor.
Does this gem mean anything to you?
No, Doctor.
No.
Oh, go on, it'll be funny.
I'll come back later.
But we can't talk to any of these two. Let's head over and see what's... Oh, they're both...
Doctor!
Oh, what?
What is it?
You haven't taken my blood pressure.
Yes, I have. Or do we have to do that every time we talk to him?
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later.
Oh, Doctor.
What now?
You didn't...
Right, okay, so I've got to finish with this patient.
Okay, let's try again.
Is he just putting it on the bed?
You don't have the first idea what...
I'll come back when you've recovered.
Can we ask Nurse Grundle actually how to use this thing?
Pardon me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur.
No, we can't.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Can't talk to him, can't talk to him. Can't pull the curtain across, can't get to here. So let's head back out. Can we talk to this guy?
Hello.
Oh, hi! No whistling, right?
Right.
Yes, please. As in, yes, please don't whistle.
What's the problem with Nurse Grendel?
She's uptight and twisted on account of a broken heart.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought she was just plain bad-tempered.
That also. By the way, sir, I wouldn't stand too close to Mr. Shiny's grease valve. If he has an emission, it'll take the shine clean off your shoes. Say, nice sneakers.
Thanks. Are you having trouble with Mr. Shiny?
Yes, I am. I don't know what's got into him today. He keeps pulling his plug.
Would this tool be any use to you?
No, sir. Mr. Shiny has no user-serviceable parts. Whatever that means.
Means you have to send
Do you
it back
recognize
to
this
every
matchbook?
single
You
problem.
should never, ever play with matches.
I know that, but...
People get hurt when they do. They end up in hospital, like the burger lady. She was so burned up, they didn't know whether to use bandages or onions.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Who is it?
That's what I'm asking you. Have you seen him before?
How should I know? You haven't told me who he is.
Take a look at the photo.
Yeah, okay.
Now, have you seen him before?
No.
Right, okay.
Do you recognize this pass?
No, I don't. Should I?
No, but I wondered if you'd seen a stranger flashing it about.
No, sir. But if I had Mr. Shiny...
See you
We're
later.
not going to get into
Yeah,
that.
take care.
I want to see if there's anything else in
The
this
connector
cupboard.
in the socket. The connector...
Really? No, we can't. Ah, okay.
Hi, my name's George Stobbart.
Yes, sir? Pleased
new
to meet you,
person.
sir.
Call me George if you like.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's my name.
My name's Benoit, but everyone calls me Bunny.
Bunny?
That's right. I used to have this cute habit when I was a kid.
Keep it to yourself, Benoit. Do you know the nurse on Ward J2?
No, monsieur. This is my first day here. I can't wait to get my hands dirty. I was talking about treating my first patient, of course. I didn't mean I'd get my hands dirty with a nurse.
Shut up, Benoit.
Okay, sir.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet.
Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
No, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
Right, let's give him this, and then he can do the blood
Here,
pressure.
take this pressure gauge.
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, keep it safe until I think of something. Have you ever heard of a guy...
No, sir.
Have you ever heard...
No, sir.
What does this...
Isn't that used to snap the patient's ribs when exploring the abdomen?
No.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, miss.
Do you know what this white powder is?
No.
Does this...
No, it...
Does this...
Not me, sir.
No, nothing here. Just do
What
this
does
one.
this...
Is that a nasal discharge, sir?
No, it's grease paint. Shake my hand, Benoit.
I don't think that's a good idea, sir.
How come?
Dermatitis.
I don't have dermatitis.
I do.
Alright,
See you
okay.
later.
Right.
So, how do we get him to where we need him to be?
Hey, Benoit.
Yes, sir?
Right,
Do
okay.
you still have that gauge I gave you?
Ah, yes. What do you want me to do with it?
Keep it safe until I think of something. See you later.
Right.
Let's talk to this guy. Now that we're a doctor,
Excuse
we might
me,
have
sir.
other options.
Aha! Just the man. You must be the new boy.
Yeah, I must be.
Well, stop wandering about and make yourself useful. Bunny, come here, boy. This is Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust you to look after him?
Yes. I really want to say no just to see what it says, but you kind of got to say yeah.
He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real doctor on the job.
I'll bet.
Show him around. Let him see some real suffering.
So, oh, he is here. Damn it. Okay. Let's head in here and in here. And Bunny should be following us. Yes, he is.
Hey, Benoit!
Yes, sir?
So now we can.
Do you still have that gauge I gave you?
Ah, yes. What do you want me to do with it?
Use it on Eric Sopmarsh.
Okay.
Oh, we should really. Oh, I should have told him to use it on her. Or is that just to give it to her? So now we can head on over to here. And we have a guard. Let's talk to the guard. See what he needs.
I'm Dr. Stobbart.
Bonjour, docteur.
Have you heard of a guy called Marquet?
He's in quarantine, doc, right behind this here door.
Marquet is just the man I wanted to see.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you. He has anthrax.
It's not really contagious.
I have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine. I have to check he's still breathing.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's a cold and distant attitude to death.
Well, I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks. Have you seen any suspicious characters on the ward?
Yeah, I have.
A gorilla and a weasel?
No, this was a tatty old bear.
How is the bear acting suspiciously?
Well, he was wearing a homburg.
Is that against the law?
No, but it's pretty weird for a bear.
Are you Thomas Merlin of Gruber Electronics?
No.
Then you won't be needing this.
Okay.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I have never seen him before.
Okay, so Merlin's not been here.
Can you think of any...
Sensible? No. Puerile? Yes, but you've probably thought of those already.
What do you think this...
Branding mice without...
Do you recognize this...
Don't get cute with me.
Have you ever heard of the club...
No. It sounds Middle Eastern.
Do you recognize this gem?
It isn't an emerald, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's blue.
What does this tissue suggest to you?
It looks as if it has been used to wipe Satan's bottom.
I hate to say it, but you could be right. Would you like to shake hands?
What for?
As a gesture of goodwill.
On reflection? No.
Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir, Doc.
Okay, so we need to get him away somehow. Oh, no we don't.
Marquet?
Yes, I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it over with.
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lahmar gem.
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
I thought you were one of the assassin.
Not me. I never inhaled.
So, you were sent in my place?
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Deliver it to the Grandmaster quickly. Tell him that I have found the tripod right here in Paris.
What, you have it?
Not yet, but it's being taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges with a flair for petty crime.
Would that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
You know them. As for Klausner, he has gone off to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
has a theory about the location of the...
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet. What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient. If Herr Hagenmeyer was to hear that...
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
Ah, there you are, sir. I was just coming to look for you. I finished with your pressure gauge.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here.
He's an imposter! The door's locked. Help me, officer.
Stand back, monsieur.
And there we go.
Hello, George.
Okay, and that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe on the video into the channel, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting me by subscribing to the channel and liking and commenting on the videos. Thanks. See you next time.